What's up, guys? Welcome to this installment of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs. I want to thank you so much for joining me today as we get ready to do our very first 3,000 mile oil change on the 2001 Pontiac Aztek GT. Now, this is a very significant oil change because this is basically the first oil change that we are performing since the car has been driven. And as you know, we've documented quite a few different oil changes on the channel.
Oh, look. It looks like it's like gooping. Oh boy, look at that. It's starting to look like gel.
But this is the first time we're actually going to see what the oil looks like after the engine has been put to use for 3,000 miles. And we're just gonna hope that it looks like normal oil at this point. It probably won't look completely normal, but as long as it doesn't look like milkshake, I don't care what it looks like. So yeah, it's kind of cold today. I could wait to do this tomorrow, but I got nothing else to do tonight. I just got home from work, and we're gonna do it before it starts to get dark. Today is March 21st, and we're just gonna go for it. Now, it's been sitting here for a couple days. I've been driving the Fusion, so we're gonna take this out. We're gonna drive it, get the oil warm and circulated, you know, and then we'll bring it back here, put on the ramps, and drain all the oil out of it. Now, as far as level goes, there we go. As far as the level goes, I know we're still losing oil, unfortunately. The crank seal over here, the crank pulley, the seal that's behind that I know is leaking oil, and probably the oil pan itself, because it is, you know, pretty wet at the bottom of the engine. But if you've been following this channel, you'll know that the head gaskets were replaced, intake gaskets were replaced, valve cover gaskets were replaced, so those, nothing on the top half of the engine should be leaking oil at all. So if it's leaking toward the bottom, I think it's just the pan and the combination of the crank seal also. So it's been sitting for a few days. Looks good under here. Not seeing any gook. Can't tell, but it's still pretty clean in there, so that's good. Obviously, we ran some seafoam for the first few oil cycles when this engine was rebuilt. What are we down to now? Yeah, so it's about a quart low right now, and that's, you know, like I said, it's been sitting for days. I think I've had to put some oil in it twice since I've been driving it, and not a whole quart actually, just little bits at a time to bring it back up to the full mark. But as you can see at this point, I have not, and it's about a quart low, so it's not dangerously bad, but it's still, you know, eh. So let's go ahead and fire it up, take it out for a little bit, and we'll come back and we'll get some clean oil in it. The key is in my pocket. It's actually over 3,000 miles at this point. And I'm kind of ashamed at myself for letting it get that. But guys, a lot of stuff's been going down. So yeah, right now she's at 173,916. We have driven it 3,434. That's a lot of 3s and 4s there. And you know what? Technically, you know, we changed the oil again after I started driving it, so it's not as overdue as it says it is, but it is slightly over 3,000 miles for this car. The oil life monitor, is actually saying that we have 17%, so that's actually kind of on track for this car. Now, you know, this car is from 2001. Conventional oil was still okay to use in these cars, and that's what I'm putting in it now. So the 3,000 mile interval is probably about right, if that's saying it's, you know, at 17%. And I'm sure that also calculates, you know, all the engine loads and all the stuff that the engine has to go through while it's working. Now, we have driven this thing quite a bit. You know, I wasn't originally intending on driving this thing all the time once it was rebuilt, but I decided to anyway, just because I started going to school again, and I've been taking the Fusion to school because, you know, well, it's more reliable, to be honest with you, but also, you know, I've been taking that to school, and I've been driving this everywhere else because I haven't wanted to rack the mileage up on the Fusion. You know, my school is about 45 minutes away. It's highway driving, and this has kind of been my go-to get-around car for just about everything else. So it's been pretty good. I have taken this to school a few times, and it's made it there and back. And it'll probably be there again, you know, in time and whatnot. So, yeah, this thing has been phenomenal since it's been back together. And not saying it's perfect. It's not perfect at all by all means. The sunroof is still leaking, and I still have no idea why. I think the seal on the outside is bad. I was going to seal it up, but we're getting ready to go in the spring, and having that thing open with no air conditioning once it starts to get warm in here, especially now that I put in these nice leather seats, I'm gonna want that open, I think. So I'm not gonna silicone it like I originally wanted to. I am going to try at some point in time to get a new seal to put around it. Hopefully I can find the original GM seal. I found the correct procedure on how to adjust the glass, so we know exactly how it's supposed to sit. I took this car to school and cleaned out the drains with an air hose, so the drains should be clear. I poured water down them. They are draining. This drain is dripping onto the floor. I tried moving it around. No matter where I put it inside the hole there, inside the pillar, it is still finding a way onto the carpet. I don't know why. I tore the other side apart and looked at where that one's positioned this one the same way. I'm still getting water. I don't know. I don't know, guys. But that is not the topic of today's video. Let's get on the road. I got a couple of other things to talk to you guys about real quick before we do this significant oil change. Alright, so now we're on the road. We are just going to drive around until the engine gets to operating temperature. It's already up past the cold mark, so probably shouldn't take too long. Like I said, it's cold today. But you know, we're just going to cruise around for a little bit. On a serious topic, guys, though, I know, you know, there is a lot of craziness going on pretty much around the entire world at this point. Everybody knows about the coronavirus epidemic, or pandemic, I should say. It's crazy. It is a crazy time right now for a lot of people. And I just kind of wanted to take the opportunity to, you know, kind of just me, you know, wishing everybody the best. I really hope, you know, everybody who's watching this is, you know, safe and well. And hopefully, you know, everybody is taking precautions. I know around the state, you know, in Ohio where I live, they just confirmed today that there's like, I don't know, 250 some cases already. And I think our first case was, what, a week and a half ago maybe? I don't know. Either way, the numbers around my state are climbing rapidly. So in my area alone, I think there was about 20 cases, and some of those cases actually hit real close to home. Real close. So everybody, you know, around here, I think, is playing it safe, and I just wish all you guys out there the best. I know it's something that, you know, we're gonna get through this, but I just hope that everybody out there is doing well. I hope a lot of you guys are taking precautions. This road is very noisy, I'm sorry, but yeah, I wish you guys the best, and just take care of yourselves, take care of each other. My wife told me today when I got home from work that they actually decided to close her business down. So there's a lot of places around here that are actually closing. And you know, all the restaurants around here, you can't eat in. It's all carry out or dine out only. So it's crazy. I'm not in school right now. They had us, close off our classes. They closed our classes last week, or earlier this week, I should say. I had 1 half day at school this week, and that was it. And next week, obviously, there's no school. They're going to try to do some online stuff with us. So that's what I'll be doing. I don't know if my place of business is going to stay open or not. But, a lot more people are closing businesses around here. And it's like I said, it's a crazy time, guys. So stay well, stay safe out there, stay aware, and that's all that I really got to say about that. I just hope that you guys continue to, stay healthy through all this. As of right now, I'm good. I'm not sick at all. My wife is good. People in my family, we're all good. I'm really glad they closed my wife's business, though, because my wife actually has asthma-related problems. So it seems to be something that people with respiratory issues already can get easier, and obviously the effects of it are going to be a lot tougher trying to get through if you already have like asthma or something. So I'm really glad that my wife doesn't have to really be around people like that at this time. So that's all that I want to say on that front. Just take care of you guys. You guys take care. That's what I'm trying to say. On another note, you guys, this is the first time I'm announcing it to you guys, but guys, I left the dealership that I was working at. As you guys know, I worked at a Ford dealership, and it was actually a dealership that I had a relationship with for years. I filmed nearly all of my Mike's Vehicle Spotlight features and a lot of these vlog features there. I was the photographer for the website, but guys, it's almost a month now I quit that job, and it's probably going to hit the channel a little bit because I can't bring you guys backlot cars now. I can't bring you guys new car reviews or anything like that. It sucks, and I'm sorry. I did think about the channel when I made the decision to quit, but things going on in my personal life have to come first before the channel. My income, just my overall employment, positioning, stuff like that. It wasn't really anything bad that happened as to why I quit the job. I went back to school, so I cut down the part-time status, and basically, there were a lot of, a few personal reasons why I decided to quit the job. The main reason is because I wasn't able to fulfill the requests of my job responsibilities while going to school. It got too stressful. A lot of management understood, obviously, why I wasn't able to do all of my job responsibilities because I wasn't there as often as I was at one time. But I did have a couple of people in the management position who were upset with me, and honestly, there was a very unprofessional situation that took place with one of the managers and I, and that was it. That was my deciding point right there. I also I started thinking about looking for a job in the career field that I'm going to school for, which is obviously working on cars. So, it had crossed my mind, but I wanted to stay with the dealership because there wasn't anybody else to do my job. I guess that was kind of a blessing in disguise, because I did get hired at another Ford dealership, and I am working in the shop. I am an entry-level technician, I guess. Oil changes, tire rotations, brake jobs, that's what I'm doing now. So at least, I am in a position now for the field that I'm going to school in, and as of right now, I like it. I like it a lot. Now, it's going to be a while, maybe once I'm at the dealership long enough and they get to know me and I get to know them, we'll see about bringing these other car reviews and stuff back. It's obviously something I don't want to jump into right now. I want to focus on learning the ropes around this dealership, in the service department and such. I also want to focus on the schooling aspect of it and what I'm going to learn as far as, you know, working in this shop from other technicians and whatnot. So it's gonna be a little while, but you know, I'm gonna keep this channel afloat one way or another, just so you guys know. I don't think I've let you guys down yet. And eventually we'll get back to, you know, doing car reviews and backlot cars maybe. The way that this dealership's set up is different from the other dealerships. So the backlot cars aren't really backlot cars. They are off the property on a remote property until they get, you know, looked at and such, and then they come to the dealership and they sit on the lot for sale. So seeing recent trades and stuff and auction cars, they're not all on the property. It's a little bit different. So guys, that's it. I just wanted to tell you guys what's going on. I don't have any hard feelings against anybody at the other dealership. You know, it sucks because I've known those people for, you know, like 10 years. I've done business with them for about 10 years now, and you know, I didn't want to quit. I really didn't want to quit. I liked doing what I was doing. It's just, it got too stressful, and there was just a lot of other factors adding up to that, guys. And you know, it sucks, and I'm sorry if you guys are disappointed. But you know, we'll get back to our other stuff, you know, eventually, in time. I love this little S curve here when there's no holes in it. So we're back home now. We let it run. It got hot. Well, not hot, you know. It's operating temperature. So now we can go underneath, let it drain. You can see now, actually, the washer fluid leak. You can see the crusty. Yeah, so is it coming from there? I still think it's coming from the bottom, but it's built up around that. I don't know. I haven't put washer fluid in it in a while, so I'm kind of glad to see it's crusting a little bit, and I can kind of pinpoint where it's coming from. So if we get underneath, so you can see how it's wet, you know. Yeah. When you look at the side of the crank, you can kind of see back there it's wet. So, I don't know. I don't see anything else leaking now. That's kind of good. The transmission isn't leaking. I don't think anything else back there at the moment's leaking. I haven't seen any coolant leaks. So I think everywhere else she's actually doing really, really well. But yeah, so I think this is an oil pan gasket and a combination of the, you know, the gasket over there. So let's go ahead, let's get our pan and stuff under here, and let's take this filter and oil plug out. Alright, we just cracked open the plug. I've had to do this all day today. Alright, here we go. Hey, look at that. It doesn't look terrible. It looks normal. Hooray! Yeah, it looks like normal 3,000 mile conventional oil. Now hopefully, what I'm hoping to not see were the chunks that came out when we first got the car. Awful chocolate chunks, sludge. I'm really hoping that at this point in time, all the sludge, has been, removed from the lower end of the engine. It's already thinning now. Like I said, we were about a quart low, so I wasn't expecting it to be completely full, and I'll let it sit for a while. But yeah, it just looks like it's nothing but oil. No chunks. Hopefully nothing's up there blocking it. Let's see. Oh, I have no idea where the camera's focusing on. There we go. Yeah. Got some on my arm a little bit. I mean, I'm happy. It looks good. It doesn't have a chocolate milk color to it like it first did. We put it through some use. 3,000 miles worth of abuse. Not abuse, but you guys know what I mean. So it looks good. I'm happy. Hopefully it'll continue to stay like that. Now, a lot of people are probably wondering how come I'm not putting in high mileage oil, or full synthetic or anything like that. Well, for one, it was a $400 car. It's a 2001. It is old already. And second, I'm very strict when it comes to oil changes. I don't like to let my oil get past, whatever that service interval is. Conventional oil is 3,000 miles. On the Fusion and the Fiesta over here, they require semi-synthetic oil, so about 5,000 miles is what I'll go with that. I make sure the oil is always changed on time. This engine, when it first came out, didn't require synthetic oil. It just required normal conventional 5W30. That's what I'm keeping in it. And I change it. I change it all the time. So that is the real reason why. I'm just going to keep putting in what it is, recommended that it has. And everything should be fine. It should run just fine. And so far, it looks good. I'm not complaining about how this oil looks. I'm not complaining about it at all. So I think our seafoam, when we first had the engine running after I rebuilt it, the first few doses of seafoam, I really think helped kind of clean out all that stuff. Plug is tight. There we go. It's filter time. There we go. Let's see if we can get it by here now. Little by little. There we go. Alright. I've been splashed on all day. Comes with the territory. It's fine. Alright. Oh, there we go. Again, not too bad. Seal came off. Good. We'll let that drip for a little bit. Clean it up. Get the new stuff on. So today I'm going to use the Stp Motor Oil. Not a sponsor. I just like to show you guys, whatever I get on sale or whatever. Got this at AutoZone, so you get the oil, the filter, and you get an air filter too. It was 28 bucks. I don't need this though, because 3,000 miles ago, we put a new filter in it. So I'm gonna hold on to that. I just didn't want to pass the opportunity to get a free filter. Every other oil change special was like $26, $27 for the extra dollar. Get a filter with it. So that's what we're using, just so you guys know. And yep, I'll go ahead and open this up. Get it on there. They put plastic on there. I think I might have used this before. I know I've used this before. I don't remember what car it was. I don't know if it was this one or not. But I've used this before. This, I don't know. Alright, so you guys know. We lubed up the ring on the filter. And we got the filter on hand snug. It is kind of tight to get a good turning angle. But I just kept grabbing on and twisting until it turns no more. So she's on there. One thing I'm going to do that I usually don't do is I'm going to shoot some brake clean across this area here and get all this off, because I want to see how fast maybe this stuff accumulates. Hey, look, I'm Erico. Wrong. I love watching Erico's videos. Try to get all this crud off of here. Some of it, you know. The new oil, old stuff, whatever. This. Go down into the pan. You can kind of see actually how it cleaned it up already. Get the grime off of here. See if that'll break off a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I don't want it to look perfect, but I just want to see. You know. Yeah. That'll do. Shut out there. Okay. So that's it. We'll go ahead and get the new oil in it. Okay, so this beast takes 4.5 quarts, and eventually the other half quart will probably be added sometime in the future. It off, wipe off the cap because I like to keep an eye on that. Obviously, it's a good point to look at with this particular engine. If anything bad starts to take place, that foam starts to show up on this cap really easily. Let's take a look down into the head real quick. Yeah, so you can still see the bottom of the head with the oil and stuff. So I don't think anything's really sticking to any of these engine components yet, which is really good. That all still looks really good down in there. Wish I had a better lighting, but yeah, it looks pretty good down in there. She's holding up very well. Alright, so I know it's on the incline still, on the ramps, but you know, 4.5 quarts should do it. Like I said, it probably won't take long for this to empty out anyway, so looks like it's showing up on there. Do you remember when these exhaust manifolds were perfectly shiny and chrome looking, and now they don't look like that at all? That's after like what, about 3,000 miles worth of driving. The engine was running before we started driving it, obviously. The engine was fixed before all the other drivability issues, but those were shiny. I'm kind of bummed out. They looked really good when they were new, and now they just look like a 20-year-old used part, and they were brand new. All right, let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's see. So it's going to be at 100. I'll say 177,000 because it's close to rolling over for the next oil change. So we'll go ahead. One thing I do have to fix also is that oil pressure sensor. That should have been today, but I don't have the right size socket yet. But don't worry, you can bet now that I work in a shop, I'm going to be buying a bunch of stuff. Oil life 17, hold to reset. We are back to 100%, as we should be. Sounds okay to me. I'll get it down off the ramps and I'll let it run for a little bit. Under the belt, I'm hearing a slight chirp in the belt. I heard it earlier too. I don't know if it's one of our pulleys already going bad. We replaced both pulleys, tensioner pulleys. I don't know. Or if the belt, we replaced the belt too. All of that stuff was replaced. We're going to be doing our brakes soon. Our brakes need to be done. I'm surprised these ones that have been on here have been holding up as long, but they're pulsing now, so I think the rotors are finally, warped. They look bad. They're all gouged. The drum brakes might have to come soon too. Sometimes when I get off the highway and I go to brake, I hear them grinding in the back. She sounds good for 173,000 miles. We did get an alignment, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that. In school, I did an alignment on it. The toe was off, so it is actually handling better. It still has some suspension stuff up front, that needs to be done. The control arm bushings are bad. You guys are probably wondering why I'm wearing a snap-on jacket, because I'm not a real mechanic yet. Actually, one of the guys in the shop gave it to me. He didn't want it anymore, so I decided to bring it home and use it here for when I'm doing stuff, out here like this, and it being as cold as it is today on the second day of spring, where it's, what is it? It is 32, and plus the breeze, so like my hands, I still feel like it's winter. So I brought it home. Not a sponsor. I don't own any Snap-on stuff yet, so I definitely can't sponsor Snap-on if I don't own anything. But this jacket is quite nice. I like it. So that's it, guys. That's all that I have today. I hope you guys stuck around this time, through the vlog. I'm happy with the way the oil looks. It doesn't look abnormal. It looks like normal oil at this point. And we'll see what this looks like in another 3,000 miles. So it'll happen. We'll get it to 3,000, change it again, and we'll just keep doing it for as long as I can keep this thing running. So that's all that I have, guys. If you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. And that's it. I will see you guys next time. I want to thank you again so much for joining me. Remember, stay safe out there. Beware of your surroundings, who you're hanging out with and whatnot. Take the precautions. Don't get sick. I will see you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.